Both Pokemon and One Piece are debatably the most impactful pieces of Japanese media in pop culture. So how about we honor these two series by turning One Piece characters into Pokemon? So subscribe because I've done this before and I'll probably do it again, and let's get into it. This design took an abnormally low amount of time. We're starting with Nami, and she's a cat burglar. I made a pre-evolution based on a cat holding her Climattack, which will evolve into a bigger Climattack. These little cat ears, and it'll evolve very differently from what you probably expect. She's a Stormcloud based on Zeus and Prometheus from the show, because she ends up using Zeus, I think, if I remember correctly. But I like Stormcloud more anyway, so no hard feelings, Zeus. But here's Neko Nami from Neko, which means cat, and Nami. I think it's a really seamless but pretty good design, if I do say so myself. First I was drawing some goofy like Kangaskhan thing, like I don't know. Anyway, now to Nami. And I sort of reverse engineered this line because I started with this guy and I didn't even know I'd make a pre-evolution. And the way it evolved from a cat is into an Oni, because that's how cats work, you know? It's kitten, cat, Oni. That's just, stuff of life. Anyway, in all seriousness, the whole idea is that it starts out as a cat and you assume that the cat ears become bigger, but they don't. They become horns and it turns into an Oni. And its Climattack thing grows bigger, so that's cool. I'm pretty sure it's called a Climattack. I hope it's called a Climattack, because it'd be really embarrassing for me to sound like a fake fan calling it the wrong thing. But I'm not. Promise you, I got to Egghead Island, and I don't know what's happening in Elbaf, I'm gonna be honest. But you know what? Whatever. You know what? I definitely know everything there is to know about One Piece, I promise. Trust. Anyway, I think this is looking pretty cool. And then I started to add some patterns on the Climattack. I really hope. I'm gonna just search it up now. Yay, I was right. It is the Climattack. Anyway, I needed an excuse to make this inanimate, complex machinery work. So I decided to make a Prevo. Because usually when Pokemon have objects, it starts out small and then it grows bigger and bigger. The idea for this guy is that she stole it. And after I drew the pre-evolution, I added a little cat nose just to keep it going. So here's Nekoni. We just took away the arm from Nekonami. So we can get Oni in there, I'm very smart, I promise. It's a very simple design, but it works. I like that movement of the electricity that I put in there. It's very nice. Now for Mihawk, which some have dubbed Goat Hawk. I have no idea if Shanks can solo Mihawk, but that's for the viewer to tell, Feel? Anyway, it's based on a man of war, which are like these jellyfish sort of things, but they're not actually jellyfish. They have these pokey things instead of jellyfish things. Search it up, man. Also based on poisonous mushrooms and snakes, so it's based on everything. And it uses its little Mihawk dagger shaped tongue to hit people, I like that first design, but it could have been cooler, so I made it cooler. I also added some frog stuff, cause mushrooms, fungus, frogs, toads, and toadstool. No, you get it, right? It makes sense. I think it makes sense. By the way, if you would want to see me, this very well-oriented person, in other places, go to my DeviantArt. I do not post Sonic furry content or 18 plus content, even though if you're a furry, I don't really care, man. Do whatever you want. You go girl. So go do that, Anyway, yeah, I added a little bit of gradients just to make it cooler, but I think it might have actually been worse. I'm not sure, you tell me. But here is, I don't know. I don't know the name. You guys decide on the name. All I really want is that it's a play on Man of War, like the animal, and Man of War, because Mihawk is a man of war. That's another pun that made this design. So yeah, here's this thing. This one's weird because Ibis Paint was tweaking or something, because it's normal now, but in a few seconds it'll just become really weird and glitchy. So don't worry, your monitor is it's not crashing, don't worry. Anyway, it's Sanji, and I was gonna make it a goat, but camel, I just want to be different, so camel. And the camel works because instead of storing water in his back, it stores like food because Sanji's a cook. And I also gave it a pottery theme because swirls are very pottery, and like camels are like brown, and brown is also like pottery. This is where it glitches, by the way, so have fun watching that. Also, while I was doing like the drawing, like it still like just changed random colors for fun. I don't know why. It was very mean. Don't worry, it actually looks pretty good if it stops glitching. Anyway, yeah. So in its hump, there's like fire stuff. Like you can see there, it's fire. Get it? Like it's fire, but it's also like, I'm so dumb. You know what? Cut that out, man. Oh, here's Camel, Diablo Jumble, which is something he uses in One Piece, and pottery and pull because he needs to pull because he's a camel. He pulls his food around. Anyway, yeah, I hope you liked the video. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Me, myself, and I are very sorry for that. But yeah, hope you liked the video. Look at my DeviantArt. Sub, like, subscribe, like and subscribe and sub and like.